All right, welcome everyone to my Obsidian Flames booster boxes opening. We're opening 3 booster boxes of Obsidian Flames to prove that you really shouldn't. About these booster boxes, hoping the set would be great. It's not, but yeah. I will say this, it's never really worth it to buy booster boxes. This is something we do for fun. You open packs because you want to open packs for fun. If you were trying to build a deck, don't do this. Do what I say, don't do what I do. If you want to buy packs with the expectation that you're probably not going to get what you want. But with that said, you can see the cards I am most interested in on the little slideshow on the right. It'll kind of cycle those all throughout the video. But that said, let's get started. We have three booster boxes open. We're going to open the first one. Yeah, so the Charizard, obviously, everybody wants that Charizard. It's the best looking one of the lot. The regular art's pretty good too. Not really a fan of the full art. I really don't like the gold, but since I've said that, I probably will end up pulling up 2 of them. Blossom, of course, isn't uncommon, but I want to get as many Blossoms as possible because Blossom is my favorite Pokemon. Pidgeot is a very good card that hopefully we'll see lots of play. May not right away, but for sure we'll see play at some point during its lifespan. So, yep. That said, let's start cracking. So, first pack. Now, I won't be giving away very many of these codes for the opening today, but if you play in our weekly league at home on the Distant Basil Discord, you can earn codes that way, and that's what these codes get saved for. So if you play in the league at home, you'll be able to grab codes that way. For participating, you get a code, and then if you get first or second, you get some codes. So a little fun for everyone. We're going to start out with Wiglet here. Yeah. All right, Wiglet. So Wiglet we have a Shuckle, a Sharp, a Magneton, also one of my favorite Pokemon, a Dragonair, Armarouge, an Amoonguss. Our first reverse is a Serena. Second reverse is Togepi, and the holo for this pack is a Claydol. So Claydol has Kaboom Doll, so put damage on your opponent's active Pokemon until its remaining HP is 10. You placed any damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in that way, do 120 damage to this Pokemon. So, not the most interesting of the holos in the set, but let's be honest, this set is largely bulk. Yungoos. Charmander, Dratini, Oddish, Oddish, Rouge, another Mungus. The headquarters is a reverse that feels early. Palpitoad and Darkrai. Darkrai is also not that great. It's gonna be a running theme for the covers in this set, unfortunately. They're just not especially good, at least not in standard. Alrighty. Temple. Temple has some nice art. More. Lillipup. Toxel. Seismitoad. Seismitoad isn't uncommon, which strikes me as nice. We have a Granbull, a Malamar, an Electric. Grumpig is our first of the reverses. And apparently we only have the one because we have a Decidueye in the other slot. So there we have it. It is strange. Palpitoad, maybe? Was that the one? I'm not sure. I will probably beat myself up when I get to editing this video and go, oh, it was obvious. All right. Swablu. Limit. First fighting type Pokemon. What was that, 3 packs in already? The Chunk, another Seismitoad, Arliva, Team Stargrunt, a reverse Litwick, a reverse Skarmory, and a Togekiss. Togekiss with its precious gift. End of your turn after your attack, you may use this ability, draw cards until you have 8 cards in your hand. Now, if you aren't aware, you don't have to actually attack to make use of that ability. It's just reminding you that you would normally attack prior to using this. It's basically saying, once you've done everything else in your turn, before it passes over to your opponent, you get to draw cards. Which is pretty good stuff. We sure we're not on a stage 2. I mean, technically it's not. We have Radiant Venusaur for that same purpose. We have Poniard Sinistea, Tadpole, a different Tadpole than the one we have there. Clodsire, another Grumpig, a Trevenant. A Surskit is our first reverse. Our second reverse is not actually a reverse, but a Cleffa, and we also get a Palafin. So this is the beautiful Cleffa from wow, that is, jeez. Okay, so the card is supposed to be very nice, but there are some massive lines going through this. It's like, and my camera sucks really bad. You won't be able to see it. Maybe if I remember, I'll take a picture and edit it into the video. Maybe hopefully it'll come up on a normal camera. But like, there's a line here, a line here, another line here. It's like another line here. That's actually kind of disappointing. They lots of lines on there. Not very good QC on this one, unfortunately. I guess it's probably a break in the foil. I just got caught on a bunch of breaks or something. I don't know. That just does not look good, unfortunately. All right, we have a Barboach, a Wiglet, a Squilvet, a Papatoad, an Altaria, that isn't that, Mawile, Buffalo, Toadstool, Bramble, and Gita. He is an interesting supporter. She says, search your deck for 2 basic energy cards and attach them to one of your Pokemon. Then shuffle your deck. During this turn, your Pokemon can't attack. This includes Pokemon that have come into play during this turn. So, get some energy acceleration at the expense of not being able to attack for this turn, but that's not too bad if you really don't need to attack every turn. Especially if you don't need to attack early in the game. But for a lot of decks at the moment, everything's turbo, 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 so we'll see. Alright, Numel comes up. We have Mawile, a different Mawile. That one's fighting, or the Steel type. Then we have Togedemaru, Greavard, Bellybolt, Flamigo. He is your Flamigo friend, so therefore he is Flamigo. Bronzog, Ortega, Masquerain, and Scissor is our holo for this pack. Scissor is basically, I believe it's Flapple, almost exactly the same sort of attack, but he does 10 base damage. So, and he probably hits for better weakness, to be fair. Can tear apart those Chin Pow. You have a Zigzagoon, a Scyther, a Meltan, a Charcadet, a Crabominable, a Kingambit, and Vinculum. No, it isn't uncommon. That is interesting. Ever since they stopped doing the non-holo rares, it's like really interesting to see what comes up as an uncommon that you wouldn't expect. And then we have another Claydol. So now that's 2 Claydols so far. We're gonna get a playset real quick at this rate. So if ever we feel like memeing with a nice bad deck, we will have all the Claydols we need. Alright, we have another Lechonk, Togepi, Lampent, Gloom, Beartick, Charmeleon, Excadrill, another Lechonk, Capsicid, and Thundurus. Thundurus has Adverse Weather. Adverse Weather says, as long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, prevent all damage done to your benched Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. So basically this is Manaphy, but only in the active spot. So, but at least Mariah can find it, right? You feel like kind of sort of protecting your Pokemon. I guess that's a way you could go. We do have Ponyard, Lillipup, Crabrawler, Clefairy, Letter of Encouragement. Wow, it feels like we don't have very many trainer cards in this or something. Patrol Cab, Nosepass, Electros, and a Holo Entei. Entei has Pressure. So as long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, attacks done by your opponent's active Pokemon do 20 less damage before applying weakness and resistance. So basically, if Entei has effectively 150 HP, and then it has the attack of Blaze Ball, which does 60 damage, and does 30 more for each fire energy card attached to Entei. So if you're powering up Blaze Ball entirely with fire energy, that's going to do 120 damage. So nothing to write home about. Not especially interesting. Bronzor, featuring art by the wonderful Shinji Kondo. Snubble, Capsicid, Drillbur, Pidgeotto. Very nice art. Among Us and Arboliva. A reverse holo Palafin. Hey, it's one of our chase cards. And a Glamora. Wow, this is a nice pack. Alright, so we have a Glamora. Glamora X from the set. This is the full art version of the card. I don't really care for full art, if I'm honest. I prefer the regular art or an alternate art, but we do have a Glamora, so that's good to see. And then we also got a card I am very happy to have. This is the special illustration of our Pidgeot X. So this has Quick Search. If you're familiar with the Pidgeot from Fire Red and Leaf Green, this is an ability that is identical to that Pokepower that was on that card. It says, once during your turn, you may search your deck for a card and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. You can't use more than one Quick Search ability each turn. So in standard format, you get one of these out, and you just each turn, you get basically with a Force Seal Stone every single turn off of this, or half of a Starburst every single turn. And the Eternal format, of course, is basically the unlimited format, so base set through the current set with a ban list. You would be able to use this and the one from Fire Red and Leaf Green in the same deck, so you get a Quick Search ability and a Quick Search Pokepower each turn. So very, 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 very interesting card, and I hope it sees tons of play, because cards like this always make me happy, and it's also nice that it's on a stage 2, which means you gotta actually work for it. Alright, up next, Capsicid, Cryogonal, and there's a ton of stores sneaking in there. Cryogonal, Togepi, Blossom! Blossom counter is 1. Let's put Blossom down here. Blossom counter is 1. Pokemon League Headquarters, Lunatone, Crabrawler, Villain. Toxicity is the hollow, and we get a cute little fire energy to wrap that pack up. All right, and another pack. Starting out with Cubchoo. Nothing like having a frozen bear with snot out of its nose. We have Spoink, Dynamo, Starskit, Team Stargrunt, Altaria, Mawile, Excadrill. I don't know what Pokemon thinks of Mawile, but they print in everything. Sinistee. We have something here. We have a Houndstone. Houndstone X has the attack Big Bite. Big Bite does 30 damage and says during your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't retreat. And then it has Last Respects for a Psychic and then double colorless, 160 plus damage. This attack does 10 more damage for each Psychic Pokemon in your discard pile. All right. Looks like I am out of good sleeves right now, so I'm going to have to pause and I'll be right back. And with the magic of editing, we are back. On the instant. Phenomenal. All right. Next pack. Bonsly, its first card in forever. Altaria, you are not a dragon. You're not a fighting type Pokemon. I know you like to have the fight song, but you don't have it in this. Dullliv, Nemo, Surskit, Serena, Lycanroc. You are a fighting type Pokemon. Probopass, Carvanha, Kangaskhan, and Togekiss is the hollow from this particular pack. We are almost halfway through this first booster box. We'll do a little recap once we get to the completed booster box. Darumaka, Froakie, Bounsweet, Vulpix, Buffalant, Abominable, Gambit, Rhyme, our first Rhyme of these packs. That's pretty cool to see her. Dratini, ooh, the full art Charizard, which is, again, not my favorite, but it is a Charizard, so that's one card I could play in the Charizard deck, if I so choose. And our next pack. We have Numel, Graveyard, Dynamo, Phantom. That is not Numel. You're setting everything on fire, and Vulpix is helping. All right, Vengeful Punch, Skarmory, Espeon, Scizor, Precious, and Palafin is the hollow in this box. Or in this pack. You imagine if you only got one hollow per box? That'd be a crime. In 36 packs, one hollow. I mean, I'm sure that's happened with some factory error, but that would be miserable all the same. We have a Phantom, a Paldean Wooper, a Buizel, a Smoliv, Michaelone, another letter of encouragement. Now we have 2 letters of encouragement. We might be, at some point in the future, encouraged. Cubchoo and a regular Charizard. That is nice to see. This is a very good card. It is going to see play at some point, probably in the near future, because it's just so strong. It has the ability Infernal Rain. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 3 basic fire energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. That's correct. And then it has the attack Burning Darkness, which does 180 damage, and it says this attack does 30 more damage for each prize card your opponent has taken. So that is quite good. Very happy to see that Charizard. Next pack. Vulpix, Froakie, Darumaka, Buizel, Sharpedo, Lanoon, Darmanitan, a Reverse Hollow Magneton, a Illustration Rare Bellibolt, and a Gita. Very nice. Bellibolt is good to see. Little lonesome Bellibolt in his cave. Do you like the art here? Art by Keiichi Ito. Has the ability Insulator, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Lightning Pokemon. If ever Lightning Pokemon actually become a problem, then Bellibolt is your guy. All right, that is the first half of the first booster box. We have made progress. Right. Next up, we have a Vulpix, Froakie, Darumaka, Buizel, Camerupt. Camerupt was a monster during the pre-release. Lapras, Masquerain, Crabominable, Audino, and Revivarex. This one in combination with the new Solrock and Lunatone in the set could be interesting. The Solrock and Lunatone prevent the effects of stadium cards done to your Pokemon, so even if your opponent puts a Path to the Peak in play tune-up, it would keep working. Which is pretty nice. Tune-up says, this Pokemon may have up to 4 Pokemon tools attached to it. If it loses this ability, discard Pokemon tools from it until only 1 remains. So you could use Revivaroom, or you could use Honchkrow V. They both have an ability with exactly the same effect. So, difference is, of course, Revivaroom is a stage 1, so it has to evolve up, but it does have significantly more HP. So, trade-off. Pick your poison. You have Gloom, Bronzor. Hi, you're sneaky. You're supposed to be in the recap. Camerupt, Lapras, Masquerain, Graveyard, Lambent, and Toxtricity. Toxtricity is a very interesting card for the 3-4-5 format. 3-4-5 format, of course, is a format that uses the current standard, but limits your Pokemon by their HP, based on their HP. So you have 130 for basics, 140 for stage 1s, and 150 for stage 2s. So Toxtricity has 140 as a stage 1, which is fine. And this is kind of like a Rainbow Road style of deck where you're going to do more damage for each type of Pokemon on your bench. So you could use the Scovillain that has double typing to instantly get a bit of extra damage. So Scovillain has 2 types, so that'd be plus 60. So even with just Scovillain and the active Toxtricity, so 1 Pokemon on the bench and Toxtricity, you're doing 110 damage, which is pretty good for that format. Not enough. You'd want another Pokemon on the bench to get up to 140, which is very good, and you can get that pretty easily, but it's pretty good. All right, Bounsweet and Magnemite, Larvesta, Rowlet, Gumshoos, Pupitar, Togetic, Beartic, Poniard, and a Hollow Gita. I believe that's our 4th one. It's our 4th or 3rd. At least out of this box, rather. And it's our 3rd, so we have 3 so far. Almost have a playset from this box. I think I have at least one from my pre-release kit, but I don't remember offhand. Alright, Snubble, Capsicid, Drillbur, Cubchoo, Gumshoos, Pupitar, Togetic, Snubble, Lechonk, and Togekiss. How convenient. Togekiss came in attack with Togetic. Blossom counter is still only 1, which is disappointing. She is an uncommon though, and those are kind of rare now compared to what they used to be. Alright, Bunnelby, Smoliv, Pidgey, Gumby, Volcarona, Poltegeist, Toadschool, Toxtricity, a Rochelle version, Shuckle, and a Thundurus. I said Tornadus. I hope I didn't say Tornadus earlier. But Thundurus. And we have a Dragonite pack. We got Swink, Dynamo, Surskit, Darumaka, Volcarona, Poltegeist, another Toadschool. These are not the Toadschools we're after, though. A Reverse Hollow Inkay, a Reverse Hollow Zigzagoon, and the meme. I believe this is the 4th one, which would complete our playset, so we can meme in peace, knowing that we have a full set of the meme. Let's confirm that, shall we? The second one. Sure, we have another one. So apparently I was mistaken. We're only at 3. Don't have quite the full set yet. With one we already had 3, but I was wrong. What happens when you record when you're very tired? Alright. The Room. Larvitar. Cleffa. Inkay. Ninetales. Dodrio. Houndstone. Seismitoad. And oh, hey, hi. Hatemore and Poppy. Forgot I already kicked off the energy and I was expecting that to be the energy. So, full art Poppy. The Resident Lolly of Elite 4. Alright, she is a full art. So she has the effect, move up to 2 energy from one of your Pokemon to another of your Pokemon. So very similar to Tag Switch, if you remember that card from the one of the worst errors of the Pokemon Trading card game, the Tag Team era. We have Froakie, Bounsweet, Vulpix, Phantump, Ninetales, Dugtrio, Houndstone, Whiscat, Kingambit, and a Hollow Darkrai. We have a Toadschool, Houndour, Tadbulb, Steenie, Diggersby, Solrock, Houndoom, Weasel. Oh, we've pulled fire. We have a secret rare Fire Energy and a Green for extra spice in this booster pack. So we have the fire. That's kind of nice to see. All right, so we have 9 packs left to go for this booster box. Starting with Hooper, Pack and Weasel, Smoliv, The Room, Diggersby, Solrock, Houndoom, Charcadet. Hey, it's Larvitar. I like to call this the Larvitar because, oh my gosh, what is with the freaking lines on these? This one has exactly the same problem as the Cleffa. The lines are in different spots, but it's the same issue. There's a line there, line there, line there. Ugh. There's a line there too, although it doesn't look like it quite goes all the way through. I almost wonder if this is like roller damage. Because it looks really, not scratched, but like, ugh. For the record, I'm not even a collector, so if I'm pointing out stuff like that, it's because it's pretty bad. I am primarily a player. I do collect to a degree, but ugh, that's very upsetting. I didn't even really look at Belly Bolt. I wonder if Belly Bolt has that same issue. No, Belly Bolt's fine. Belly Bolt's clean. Just the Larvitar and the Cleffa. Boo. Right. Wooper. Baltoy. Carvana. Lechonk. Gramble. Malamar. Grumpig. Dragonair. Dynamo. And Cloth. Cloth has the ability Counter Attacking Pincer. If this Pokemon is in the active spot and is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, even if this Pokemon is knocked out, discard an energy from the attacking Pokemon. And then it also has the attack Falling Press, does 100 damage, and then you flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 80 more damage. So not really something you're going to be using to attack with, but it exists. Salandit, the Electric, Larvitar, Magnemite, Gramble, Malamar, Grumpig, Yungoos, Pupitar, and Palafin with water energy. Anybody with water. Fungus, Nosepass, Litwick, Audino, Caldean Clodsire, Trevenant, Bellybolt, Finizen, Lapras, and a Scissor is the holo for this pack. I would like to point out that at the moment I have more Charizards than Blossoms. This is very upsetting. I should say more Charizard than Blossom. Plural of any Pokemon, same is the same. So, more Charizard than Blossom. Boo. Aldan Clodsire, Trevenant, Bellybolt, Cumby, Pidgey, and a Claydol. Now we have the playset. That's the fourth one. For realsies this time. All right, Charmander. That is not where you go. That's Fire Tracks Fire, though. The Giant Dratini, an Oddish, another Oddish, yay. Venizim, a Valiant Evolution, nice to see you. Flamigo, Bronzong, Beartic, Rockruff, a Reverse Hollow Patrol Cap, and a Toxtricity. Nice. Toxic Pokemon Toxtricity. 3 packs left. Let's see if we can get something good out of these 3. Or if we've more or less gotten what we're going to get out of this box. We got Diglett, Rowlet, Baltoy, Finizen, Flamigo, Bronzong, Beartic, Temple, Drampa, that's our first Drampa, and Gita. Gita, you were such a disappointing champion. Why couldn't you be like Cynthia and just beat us? Beat the living tar out of us. That's what we wanted. We just want to be abused. That's all there is to it. All right, we have Herdier, Limit, our first regular non-holo rhyme. It took almost an entire booster box to find one. Excadrill, Pidgeotto, a reverse holo Espeon, a reverse holo Team Stagnant, and a holo Thundurus. Thundurus, once again, with that adverse weather ability. All right, last pack for this booster box. Let's see if it's a good one. Dragonite, you better not hold it on me. All right, we got Larvesta, Fungus, Pidgey, Litwick, Charmeleon, Excadrill, Pidgeotto, Reverse Holo Wooper, a Reverse Holo Clodsire, and Entei. Boo! We like Entei, but we also don't like Entei. Entei's a cool Pokemon. This card is not very good though. All right, I'll pause. And I'll be right back with the next booster box. All right, before we jump into the second booster box, let's go and recap what we got out of the first one here. We're going to get a Gold Fire Energy, a Full Art Poppy, a Full Art Charizard, a Full Art Glimora, Cloth, Greedent, Revavroom, Charizard, Houndstone, Decidueye, Bellybolt, Larvitar, Cleffa, and the piece de resistance, Pidgeot. Not a horrible first box, especially not for this set. Let's see how the second one is. All right, see what the first pack gives us, shall we? The Room, Salandit, Electric, Larvitar, Patrol Cap, Blossom, count number 2, Pokemon League Headquarters, The Room, Oddish, and Darkrai is our holo. We have Bounce Sweep, Magnemite, Larvesta, Rowlet, Dartrix, Brigadier, Stunfisk, a Reverse Holo Entei, a Reverse Holo Bronzor, and a 5th Claydol. A Clefairy, a Capsicum, a Town Store, a Cryogonal, a Ninetales, a Poltergeist, a Toadstool, a Reverse Holo Arven, because we didn't get enough of those just 2 sets ago, Darkrai, and Kita. It does bother me a little bit that they've reprinted Arven and Team Stargrunt in this, or Team Stargrunt in this set. Like, there were so many things they could have done that were more interesting. Like, there were some arts of cards that we never got in the Sun era that they could have just taken the art and ran with it. Like, there was a Nest Ball, there was an Escape Rope. Like, there were card arts they could have used. Yeah, they just, stick it on a Scarlet and Violet template and then give it the current regulation mark. But they didn't. They chose not to, and it's really disappointing. Like, it would have made the packs more interesting, right? We'd finally get those arts. We'd finally have, something worth looking at. That Escape Rope would be really cool, even if it were E-regulation mark, right? And we'd finally get it in English. But instead, they chose to reprint cards we just got. And it's like, yes, technically Nest Ball is another card we just got, and Escape Rope, yes, also, but there would be different art at the very least. And something like Nest Ball, honestly, the card sees so much play that it's never a bad thing for it to be a little bit more available. And especially if it's different art, then like run with it, right? I don't know. It just feels like a missed opportunity for them. They obviously needed some extra trainer cards to pad out the set, because the set is just like its sources in Japan are you have one set in Japan, Black Flame Ruler, and then you have some starter decks and like a set of EXs from a box. Like, it doesn't have good origins, and put it that way. And because of that, you have very few trainer cards in the set, and so they felt the need to pad it, and they put those 2 extra cards in. Another thing they could have done, there's also there was a stadium card that was printed at the end of the Sword of Shield block in Japan as a gym promo. It's like Peaceful Park or something along those lines. That could have also been in here, again, with the correct regulation mark, but with the Scarlet and Violet template. Like, there's so much they could have done to actually give us something. It wasn't just a reprint that we didn't really need. But at least Arven is a somewhat playable card. Stargrunt doesn't see any play. Maybe it will in the future, but it doesn't at the moment. Kangaskhan, Chandler, Smoliv, and Thundurus. Not the hot stuff just yet in this box. Hopefully we'll hit it soon. I am very interested to see how the rest of Paradox Rift pans out, though. What we've seen so far is very interesting, and then they talked at Worlds about how the Ace specs are going to be coming back in 2024. So that will not be in Paradox Rift. That will be in our 5th Scarlet and Violet set. So whatever comes out in February or March, whenever that set happens to land for us, that will be good. I'm very excited to see what they do with Ace specs this time around. I expect we'll probably get a reprint or 2. I mean, don't expect all of them, and don't even expect computer search. Like, we might get it, don't get me wrong, because around that time, when we do get it with Scarlet and Violet 5, we'll be losing a big chunk of the Pokemon V that would have potentially been useful targets for the Forest Sealstone. Not all of them, obviously. We still have Luminion, which is a big one. Genesect does leave, though. Genesect V is gone. Of course, the whole new archetype is going to come this following rotation, or this coming rotation, which is nice. I'm very glad to see that deck go. It's overstayed its welcome, in my opinion, but like, it's good. And there's of course, there's Pidgeot, and there will still be Arceus in the format, so there's gonna be lots of ways to be consistent. Some people are very concerned about computer search coming back. Personally, especially once a lot of the V's rotate, I think it's probably fine. But don't expect them to reprint it. Especially don't rely on it. If it comes back, cool, but it may not. There will definitely be some interesting card printed. Oh, jeez. You can come down here. You're Victini, you're the first pull. You're from a starter deck, so you're not very good, but you are technically pull because you're sparkly and pretty, and therefore you're pull. And the first real pull is actually awesome. Yeah, so I expect to see some cool, interesting things come Scarlet Violet 5 with the ace specs. The cards that have been revealed so far from Paradox Rift are very interesting. I do my initial impression of the Garchomp was a little underwhelming, and then I kept thinking about it. I was like, well, it's a single energy attachment for like 160 damage, and you're accelerating from discard. It's actually pretty good. We'll see how it is in practice, and not just in theory. But it does seem pretty decent. And then, like, if they try to move out of the active spot, then you can snipe them with that second attack. It's interesting. We're definitely going to test it. It's probably going to be one of the very first decks from that set we get to. Our first tests for these coming weeks are actually going to be Pokemon Card 151. So we'll have that Pokemon Card 151. That is Charizard and Tyranitar first. So the new versions of those. So Tyranitar will be running the Dodrios. Oh jeez, guys. Charizard will be running the Dodrios, and Charizard will be running Charizard Vespiquen, and we have Bulk. Yay, hooray! Charizard will be running the other Charizard, so they'll have that other Charizard to be used as an attacker, just as an option. Does a lot of damage, could be worth it. But yeah, Charizard doesn't really change that much, aside from getting that Charizard and getting, I think it gets a better Charmander. I don't remember for sure. It definitely gets a better Pidgey and Pidgeotto. But hi. And then of course we'll be testing Alakazam. We'll be testing Blastoise. We're testing, I think it's 6 decks total for that. So it'll be over 4 videos. So normally our videos are, we record a main video and a bonus video. The main video is best of 3, the bonus video is best of 1. Because we're having to kind of blitz through the testing for 151, we are recording just a main video, and then the bonus video is actually a full-length video. So it'll be also best of 3. So that way all of the 6 decks that we're testing will have a shot at being, a little bit more testified, if you will. That's not exactly what testified means, but you get the point. So Charizard and Tyranitar will get their first decks. I think it's Charizard and Alakazam they get like extra video. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then like 1, 8 or something like that. That way they get a little bit of it, because I know those are the ones people are most interested in, so I want to make sure that they get a little bit more screen time. Yeah. Make sure that we show them off a little bit before they come out. Be fun. I'm looking forward to 151. I'm especially looking forward to Blastoise. Alakazam, I think it's going to be a little underwhelming, but I hope it won't be, because if it isn't, then that would be very interesting. This box is trying to be Crimson Invasion right now. Oof. All right, prove me wrong, box. Let's pull some heat. Charmander, Dratini, Darmanitan, Dartrix, Frogadier, Umbreon, Squirtle, and Entei. Well, still hoping. So back to Paradox Rift. They've showed us. They showed us Garchomp. They showed us. They showed us some stuff that might not be in the set, right? The Mewtwo and the Lightning type Mewtwo and the. I'll remember here in a second, and I'll give myself up about it. Hey, it's Pidgey. Ooh, and an Absol. Also not a great card, but it does exist. Oh, it's the Steel type Skeleturge. Yeah, so the Steel type Skeleturge and then the Electric type Mewtwo. So those are both maybe in the set. In Japan, they're coming in like another starter kit thing. So we'll see how that ends up getting to us. It might be in the set. It might be in Scarlet Violet 5. I kind of think it's going to be in the set, but we'll see. Weasel, Fountain Sweets. Oops. Tuxel and Palpin. Tuxel. And there were some other cards. I'm going to pull it up real quick so I can just remember. They also showed us Frostlass. I'm just looking at it right now. They showed us Frostlass. Frostlass is kind of underwhelming. So it does, for water energy, of course, as a grass Pokemon, It has an ability I've translated as Je ne sais quoi. It says if this Pokemon is in the active spot and is knocked out, flip a coin. If heads, your opponent takes one fewer prize card. And then it has Frostbolt for 140 damage. So that's for 2 water energy. This attack does 20 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. So not a crazy amount of damage output on there. Just a little disappointing. Like, it's kind of cool that it could potentially end up basically a single prizer when it gets knocked out. And then maybe down the line, like a Life Dew reprint, and it could be a 1 prizer or a 0 prizer. But 140 damage, like, it's just so low, it doesn't even feel like it's worth it. I don't know. They did show also some of the Paradox Pokemon that are coming in Paradox Rift. Go figure, there are Paradox Pokemon in Paradox Rift. The first one I have on the screen here is going to be, is it Iron Moth? Yeah, Iron Moth. Iron Moth has an ability called Thermal Reactor. Once during your turn when this Pokemon moves from your bench to the active spot, you may move any amount of fire energy from your other Pokemon to it. And then it does Heat Ray. 120 during your next turn, this Pokemon can't use Heat Trap. Or Heat Ray. I don't know why it's a Heat Trap. Cute. Have to fix that. But yeah, it's not very good. Powers itself up, maybe. But I don't know how much it's going to see. It might be one of those cards that pops in randomly as a cool tech card for a specific matchup, or it just seems very specific. Not great. And we have Snorunt that develops up in that Frostlass. We already talked about Garchomp. Garchomp, let me read it off since it's kind of an interesting card. Garchomp is water type. It uses fighting energy to do its attack, its main attack at least. Hydrolander. Hydrolander is 160 damage, which is pretty good for single energy. Then attach up to 3 basic fighting energy from your discard pile to your bench Pokemon in any way you like. So you get energy acceleration from the discard pile on a stage 2. And then there is a card that can pair up with it that I'm kind of interested in trying out with it. So they also revealed a Groudon in the set that is a single prize basic. So that's fine. But then you can attach the energy to that Groudon to do a bunch of damage, right? Let me pull that Groudon up. Groudon has overflowing overflowing power, so that just attaches a basic fighting energy from your hand to it. That's one of those things you do when you're really desperate. And then there's Magma Purge. So Magma Purge does 60 times damage. You may discard up to 4 fighting energy from this Pokemon, and the attack does 60 damage for each card you discarded. So you can do 240 damage off of it. On a single prizer, for basic, for 3 energy, yes, but you're going to be basically, oh, it's Poppy. Okay, I really like that art too. Hi. That is much better art than the other one. She's at least cute in this one. With her little Caparaja. Very nice. Got distracted. Yay, that's what I'm supposed to be. Thinking about the cards I'm pulling. But yeah, very nice to see Poppy. That's a very cool pull. Pidgey's also a very cool pull. Yeah, Groudon could be interesting in the Garchomp deck as a single prizer. So you attack in with the Garchomp, get some energy on the Groudon, and then you have the option. What the heck? Magnum Zone, you're going to be a Terra type for fighting. And then you attach the energy to the Garchomp and get some energy attacking with the Garchomp. That way, could theoretically do that. I mean, the alternative is they go and gust up the Groudon and be like, no, you don't get to do damage with that. But if they do that, they're going to get hit again by the Garchomp and be knocked out almost assuredly. And then so we have some other very interesting cards that were revealed. Let's see here. We have Iron Bundle. Actually, this is all on justinbazal.com. If you go to the what's next section, you can kind of follow along with it. I'm kind of going through it just so I can have something to entertain me while I'm opening packs. Ooh, hi, Scissor. Scissor's cool. That is a very nice art. My crappy camera is not doing it justice. I'm sorry for that. One of these days I will have a good camera. But this is Scissor. Very nice to see this art. That is for certain. So Mantike is a card in this set, which is awesome. We have not seen Mantike in like 16 years. Same situation as Bonsai that we just got revealed and released in our previous set, Obsidian Flames. It's been forever since we've seen these guys. So we finally get Mantike. This will be the second ever Mantike in English, which is crazy to think about, because Mantike's been around since Diamond and Pearl. It's like way over 10 years. They have really neglected it for no real reason. Mantike is not very playable. It just has fluffy healing. Heal 120 damage from one of your bench Pokemon. And then you're just giving up a prize for that basically because it's got 30 HP. It's going to go poof as soon as it gets hit in the active spot. But I mean, it's Mantike, so definitely collectible just because it's been so long. And was it 10,000 years, or I can't remember what the meme is. 9,000 years. It's a lot. It's been forever. Good to see a Mantike again. We also get an Iron Bundle. So Iron Bundle has an ability called Hyper Blower. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is on your bench, you may switch out your opponent's active Pokemon to the bench. Your opponent chooses the new active Pokemon. If you do, discard this Pokemon and all attached cards. So it's a repel, basically. Or as people like to refer to it, a half of an escape rope. It's repel. That's what it is. And then it has a refrigerated stream. 80 damage to the defending Pokemon is an evolution Pokemon. It cannot attack during your opponent's next turn. Very high attack cost on that one. But can theoretically see some play in like Chinpow, maybe. I don't know. It seems niche. Niche at best. Oh, it's the ugly Charizard. Alright. This Charizard, okay, so I should be happy. It's a gold. It's a very rare card. No, I mean, at least in theory, I saw so many of them pre-release. Here's the thing. To me, this card looks like those fakes that all those kids parade around that they got off of like Amazon, and they're so happy about, and the text looks terrible, and it's got like 1,000 HP and 20,000 damage, and it's all broken English. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like one of those cards. It just looks really tacky and very ugly, and I just like. Why couldn't it be the Charizard just popped up on the screen? That's all I'm saying. A much prettier Charizard, or even just the regular art. I would have been happier with that. All right. Palpitoad, Zigzagoon, Scyther, Meltan, Umbreon, Lapras, Masquerain, Trevenant, Townstore, and Palafin. Wow, this box has been very unkind to us. Holy crap. Alright. There should be pure fire in the rest of the pack, right? That's how that works? It's not actually, but we can pretend it is. Alright. Herdier, Glimmet. Never run that one, just run the one with Ascension. Rockruff. Camerupt. Paldean Clodsire. Granbull. Lanoon. Phantom. And Koraidon. It's the bad Koraidon. I know that's amusing considering everybody thinks the other one is a bad Koraidon, because it sucks too. But this one is way worse. The other one is at least playable because it can accelerate some energy and hits hard if you get energy on it. This one is just kind of bad. Like, this attack does 20 damage and 20 damage to 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Ooh, so spicy. I might even knock it out after a million turns. Inkay. Toadscroll. Houndour. Tedbulb. Dragonair. Armarouge. Ortega. Ortega feels like... I might be first the regular Ortega. I think I have a reverse of him, but jeez. Ortega, you're supposed to be an uncommon. Have 5 packs left for this box. Not even a second Blossom from this one. This is disappointing. Only 1 Blossom per box? Ooh. Yeah. Phantom, Wooper, Weasel, Smoliv, Poppy, regular Poppy this time, Monotone, Dartrix, Stoutland, Herdier, and Scovillain. I am glad this is basically all I'm going to be opening for this set. I do not like this set. Yay. Very excited for Paradox Rift, though. Woohoo. Paradox Rift, let's look at that Mewtwo, shall we? Mewtwo that may or may not appear in the set. Mewtwo has Transcharge. Transcharge does for single psychic energy, attach up to 2 basic psychic energy cards from your discard pile to your Pokemon in any way you like. And it has the attack Photon Kinesis. So Photon Kinesis says it does 10 plus damage, and then, this is the kicker, it does 30 more damage for each psychic energy attached to all of your Pokemon. That is very reminiscent of a certain Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX. Unfortunately, Shadow Rider cannot attach to Mewtwo. So we had to find some other way to get the energy onto Mewtwo. And wouldn't you know, there's a card that could do that. Move to energy? Possible. Maybe probably could see play with it. At the very least, it'd be interesting. Won't get a whole lot of time to play with it before rotation, as the rotation will happen fairly soon after we get the Mewtwo, if we get it in Scarlet and Violet Scarlet and Violet Paradox Rift. And it would happen at the same time if we get it in the Scarlet and Violet 5. So hopefully it's in Paradox Rift, so we can at least get to play with Shadow Rider a little bit. It's a reverse hollow Blossom. All right, that's cool. So we get a 2 Blossom box. We're at 3 total Blossoms. 1 regular, 3 total Blossom. Correct myself. Only 1 or 2 regular and 1 reverse hollow. You have a Clefable from that box. Sorry, Clefable, but you are less interesting than Blossom. Technically, you're more playable, but you're less interesting. 2 packs left. Let's see what we got. We have a Charcadet, Poniard, up, or that really wants to bring Gumshoes along for the ride. A Pupitar, a Togetic, Houndoom. This is a reversal. Doesn't look one. A Charmeleon. Ooh, hi, Ortega. Nice to see you. So this, I believe, it's just a regular rare, a regular full art for him. Let me see here. Don't remember what his alt looks like. He doesn't have one, so this is just his full art. Still a very pretty card. I'm not going to complain about getting it. It's definitely a very pretty card. All right, last pack. Will we have some magic in here? We need a Blossom and the special illustration for Charizard. Let's go. Come on. Or maybe the Ninetales. The Ninetales just popped up. That'd be good too. We'll get the energy off. Energy. And flip. Let's see. Wiglets, Shuckle, Bisharp, Magneton, Malamar, Grumpig, Elebolt, Dolive, Clefairy, Nente. Blue. All right. Let's recap. This was definitely a weak box. All right. What do we get? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 total hits in this box. That is way low for a Scarlet Violet box. Oh, Ortega, Poppy, which is a very nice pull. No complaints there. Ortega is also a nice pull. Clefable, Koraidon, Absol, Victini, Scizor, Pidgey, and then the package Charizard. So, yep, that is definitely a weak box. I'm going to crack open the third one, and then we'll start on the next little bit. All right, we've reloaded. We have another 36 packs. The final 36 packs of this video. It's like the final pack. No, it's the final 36 packs. We got a whole box still. All right, is the last one. Hopefully this one does better than that last one. Only 9 hits. That's so sad. Oh well. But yeah, let's see what we get out of this one. 36 more packs to go. Starting out with a Rubber Room pack. Please, Rubber Room, be a good pack. May you contain a Blossom. Blossom. All right, we see a Lechonk, Fungus, a Nose Pass, Litwick, Brashus, Magnezone, Carbonal, Inkay, okay, what's here? Minotone, and a Thundurus. No Blossoms in that pack. Boo. Alright, more Paradox Rift stuff while we are cracking. We have Screamtail. Screamtail has the attack Slap, which does 30 damage, and then it has the interesting attack. The interesting attack is called Roaring Scream. This attack does 20 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. For each damage counter on this Pokemon, don't apply weakness or resistance for bench Pokemon. So you could put, you can touch 4 energy to it with Gardevoir to get it down to 10 HP. So that'd be 8 damage counters. So you'd be doing 160 damage. But it gets more interesting, right? You could attach a Bravery Charm to it, giving you an extra 50 HP, so 140 total. And the 140 you could then put with a healing thing, something like Champions Festival, 13 damage counters on it. And then that would be 260? A lot. How's that? Yeah, 260, I believe. Yeah, 13 times 2, that would be. So that's a pretty big snipe. Could be interesting for Gardevoir, especially after our coming rotation. Although I think Gardevoir gets quite a lot worse since it is going to lose the Chilling Rain Gardevoir, which has the Brainwave attack, which is kind of a main attacker for Gardevoir at the moment. It does become a worse deck. Pidgeot, yay! Okay, that's a good pull. We are very happy about Pidgeot, especially since it's a regular, which I like to see. Although I'm very, very happy to pull the other one. I did want to pull that one. I very much did. Speaking of which, it's on the side there. But definitely want to pull this one too, because I just want to play with it too. This one, of course, still does the same thing, worth a lot less, which is fine. Makes me feel happier playing with it. But yes, Pidgeot, very playable card. Super happy to pull that. This box is already starting out on a good foot. Let's keep going the box. Pull me some more Pidgeots. Pull me some not ugly Charizards. That would be great. Maybe some more full arts. Giga would be pretty nice. The either full art or the illustration, or either one. Linoon, Skarmory, Charcadet. Hey, it's Rhyme. I didn't talk about her. No, I'm happy with Rhyme too. Rhyme, of course, draw 3 cards. Switch out your opponent's active Pokemon to the bench. Your opponent chooses a new active Pokemon. So this is once again a draw 3 with Repel. Very, very interesting card. A little bit niche, but maybe who knows? Maybe we'll see some play. And of course, the full art's great. Rhyme is great as a character. Yeah, little happy old wrestler. And of course, her sister is a teacher. I don't know if her sister will get a card, but we will see. Maybe. I don't know. Charmander, Teeny Oddish, Mawile, Arvin, Stunfisk, Letter of Encouragement. Hey, it's Palafin. That is a cool art of Palafin too. That's nifty. Alright. This box is art on the right foot. Yes, this box is doing way better than the other one. Alright. Palafin is cool. That is definitely the right art to play if you're going to play Palafin. It just means I have to have 3 more of these now for the Palafin deck. If I keep it put together, I might dismantle it when I'm with Blastoise, which I have to do in the next couple days. Let's see. Surskit, Darumaka, Floki, Bounsweet, Pupitar, Togetic, Volcarona, Togetic, not really, Baltoy, and Scovillain. Yay, so many Scovillain. Alright, up next on the look at for Paradox Rift, we have Iron Valiant. Iron Valiant's Pokemon X has the ability Tachyon Bits. Once during your turn, when this Pokemon moves from your bench to the active spot, you may put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. So that basically means when you're moving from the bench to the active spot, you get to put 2 damage counters on one of your Pokemon, however you choose. That's pretty good. Not lie. That is a great partner for Vespiquen, actually. It's also a very good just partner in general, even potentially for Gardevoir, to kind of get some math in. And then because it says when you move it and not once per, it doesn't. Okay, so it restricts it once per turn for each Iron Valiant, right? But it doesn't say you can only use 1 more Tachyon Bits per turn, which is what it would say if you only use 1. It's not like that. It's more like Orbeetle. Orbeetle VMAX had a similar ability, which is very interesting. So Iron Valiant, if you have 4 of them out, you could theoretically donk someone, right? You just battle VIP pass 4 of them out real quick, and then do some switching shenanigans, drop 8 damage counters on their only active Pokemon, and just knock it out that way. Or maybe it's a 60 HP Ralts, and you only need 3, which is extra shenanigansy. This card will see play, I'm sure of it. It's very interesting, especially since it's a basic Pokemon. Oh yeah, and then we don't yet know what like the future and ancient support is going to be like. We have to assume it's going to be something kind of like the battle styles, where there'll be like specific trainer cards or specific items, right, supporters, tools, that kind of thing for them. I know there's talking like an ancient energy capsule or something for on one of the cards. I can't remember exactly what it was, but when we read the card, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, there's going to be some interesting stuff going on for sure. Iron Valiant is very interesting. I am happy to see cards like that because maybe we'll get some interesting counterplay. Although it is also scary to think that I could theoretically donk someone with a squishy Pokemon in the active spot. That part's but we'll see. Next up is that Groudon we already talked about with the Gibble and Gabite. Absol is not great. Yveltal has Crosscut, that's also really bad. Boss Stiff will most likely make it into this set. Boss of X, not super good. Alright, so we have Brute Bonnet. This is actually what I was talking about earlier. It has Toxic Powder as its ability. The Toxic Powder says once during your turn, if this Pokemon has an ancient booster energy capsule attached, you may make both active Pokemon poisoned. So, interesting. That could be good for what is it? The Raticate deck, the meme deck that's got Raticate in it that does the drop it to 10 HP. So you just throw the Brute Bonnet down, put the capsule on it, whatever that ended up doing. And yeah, that would be good to get the knockout that way. I think that's a little better than having a 2-prizer, which would be the Paldean Clodsire out. Paldean Clodsire, of course, is a bit of a liability there. So Brute Bonnet could be good. Brute Bonnet also does have an attack called Rampaging Hammer. It does 120 damage, and then it can't attack next turn. So definitely not wanting to attack with this guy if you don't have to. But something theoretically you could, but you don't want to. Hey, full art bad card. Full art Vespiquen. Maybe Vespiquen, maybe we just have to wait for your partner. Maybe once we get Iron Valiant, you'll be fine. I doubt it. But maybe. Yeah, I very much doubt it. We have Roaring Moon. Roaring Moon has Frenzied Gouging. I really need to fix these typos. That's the second typo I've noticed. Frenzied Gouging, knock out your opponent's active Pokemon. If your opponent's active Pokemon is knocked out in this way, this Pokemon does 200 damage to itself. No. So basically you're getting instant KO, but you're also doing a lot of damage to yourself, so you're probably going to get KO'd pretty easily in return. Maybe at the right time that could be good. The attack cost is really high though. It requires 2 darkness and a colorless. We do have Dark Patch in format, so that does help. And of course it could be paired with Darkrai to get those Dark Patches back to repower it up. And you could use Experience Share and other shenanigans to try to keep it going, but it does feel a little There's also the attack Calamity Storm for the same exact attack cost. Dark Colorless does 100 plus damage. You may discard a stadium card in play. If you do, this attack does 120 more damage. But that's not horrible. Just make sure you have a stadium, you or your opponent has a stadium card in play, and then get some damage out that way. Yeah, it's not my favorite of the cards revealed, but maybe in some way we could see it see play. I don't know. It's not guaranteed. Hey, it's River Room. This is the River Room Explore Edition with the ability to tune up like earlier. Can look at it a little closer in my bad camera. Mm-hmm. 2 full arts. That's not too bad. Have the Skeletors, the metal type Skeletors that may or may not make it into this set, into Paradox Rift, that is. Paradox Rift, this particular Skeletor is a metal type, and it has the ability Explosive Song. Once during your turn, you may discard a fire energy card from your hand in order to use this ability. During this turn, your Pokemon's attacks do 60 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon before applying weakness and resistance. That is a huge boost of damage for any deck that's running fire energies. Pretty crazy. Definitely interesting. And then Raster Burn does 160. This deck's damage is not affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. Weakness and resistance are not effects, so you keep that in mind. Yeah, 160, and then if you discard a fire energy, I guess it would be 240. And then do keep in mind too, Explosive Song, at least as we have seen in the text, does not limit itself to once per turn. So if you have 2 Skeletors, I should say, it does not hard limit to 1 Explosive Song in a turn. Each Skeletor, of course, can only use it once, but if you had multiple Skeletors, theoretically you could do 1 or 2 and get like about 120 boosts, which would be crazy. But you can do it, and you just play like Superior Energy Retrieval or Energy Retrieval and get those energies back, and then do it again. Get some extra damage in play and really hit hard. Played all, I think there's like 6 plus the reverse there. Then we have Bombardier. Bombardier is a Pokemon X, so you get a 2-prizer. As the attack Fast Carry. If you go first, you can use this attack on your first turn. Search your deck for up to 3 basic Pokemon and put them onto your bench. Then shuffle your deck. So that actually is pretty interesting. Probably not great in the current format, but maybe in the future format it'll be. Yeah, I like it. Format now is probably a little too fast, though. Definitely an interesting effect. Maybe see play in the future. So it feels a little bit like Hoopa, feels a little bit like Dunsparce. We'll see. Oh, I like it. And then it has Shadow Wind at 130, and then you can just shuffle it back into your deck. And everything attached to it, not just itself. Bombardier is an interesting Pokemon. I will give it that. Maybe it could see play. And then we have Atticus. Atticus is Gym Promo. Atticus has the effect you can only use this. Wow. You can only use this card if your opponent's active Pokemon is poisoned. So maybe if you're playing that Root Bonnet like we were talking about earlier with that tool attached to it. It says shuffle your hand into your deck and draw 7 cards. So if you happen to be playing a poison deck, that might actually be okay for you if you're able to very consistently get that poison off. And then we have Gorgeous Mantle. If the Pokemon this card is attached to does not have a Roblox, it gets 100 extra HP, and when it is knocked out, your opponent takes an additional prize card for its knockout. Pokemon X, Pokemon V have Robloxes. So you could attach this to something like Cryogonal, and then it would have 190 HP instead of 90 HP. That'll be a 2-prizer. It's interesting. I could definitely make some single prizers very viable. I could see there's a Machamp that if your opponent is like low on prize cards, or if I think it's if your opponent's low on prize cards, there's a situation where you're going to get 150 extra HP, so it would have 300 HP, and then with this it would become a 2-prizer but have 400 HP. That's pretty crazy. That could maybe be worth trying out. A lot of HP. Yeah, this card will see play for sure. How and with what Pokemon, that remains to be seen. But yeah, it's a cool card. Definitely looking forward to playing around with that one. And let me see Larry. Larry, everybody's favorite trainer from Scarlet and Violet. Larry is both a member of the Elite Four and a gym leader, so pretty cool stuff. It says flip a coin. If heads, search deck for 2 Pokemon, reveal them, and put them into your hand. If tails, search deck for a basic Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. So basically this card, no matter what, you're searching your deck for some Pokemon, which is good. Turn 1, you get 2 of any Pokemon, your basics or your evolutions or whatever. And then that's pretty good. So not turn 1. If you get heads, theoretically you get 2 of any Pokemon. And then if you get Tails, you just get a basic Pokemon. So either way, at least turn 1 you're doing something out of it. And then the possibility of getting 2 is also very nice, especially because the 2 is not restricted. It's just 2 of any Pokemon. So it might see play. We'll see. Very, very interesting effect. It's kind of like almost like a double evolution in a sense, but not quite. And then Rika has an effect that says, look at the top 4 cards of your deck and put 2 of them into your hand. Shuffle the other cards and put them on the bottom of your deck. Rika, unfortunately, reeks. Card stinks. It's not good. Hey, it's a bad Miraidon. Woohoo! We got the bad Koraidon, now we got bad Miraidon. Seems appropriate. And then we get Technical Machine, Blindside. So Technical Machines are back, but they're tools now. They're not their own class of card like they used to be. So Technical Machine, Blindside. This says the Pokemon this card is attached to can use the attack on this card. You still need the necessary energy to use this attack. If this card is attached to one of your Pokemon, discard it at the end of your turn. So it doesn't just magically stay attached. And then it says Blindside. So for 3 colors energy, this attack does 100 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon with any damage counters on it. That's pretty cool. Hey, it's a second Pidgey. Yeah, let's go villain. That's pretty cool. I like the Pidgey. Then we have Technical Machine Turbo Energize. This is an attack on a Victini EX from forever ago. It's like the other one where it adds an attack for you to be able to use in that particular attack. And it is Turbo Energize, as you probably guess. Turbo Energize says search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards and attach them to your bench Pokemon any way you like. Then shuffle your deck. So kind of like a Starbird, or not Starbird, Trinity Nova. Thinking the right Pokemon, just not the right thing. Yeah, kind of sort of like a Trinity Nova. Could be interesting. Yeah, and it's for a single energy, so fairly easy to get off. That's all we've seen so far that's of any interest for the Paradox Rift set, but I'm sure we'll see some more stuff fairly soon. The set comes out in Japan, or I should say, the set that we've been seeing recently for the set. That's very confusing. The Japanese set that is the first set that becomes part of Paradox Rift comes out in Japan on the 22nd of September. So by a week prior, the Thursday prior to that, we'll have the full set reveal for that set. That set is Raging Surf. That's the one with the Garchomp in it. So that's 62 cards, roughly 60 cards. They may cut stuff, they may add stuff. Let's see. It's not even 60 cards because they revealed that Switch and there was another card, I can't remember which one it is. It's 2 cards we already have in format, and we generally, when they reprint them with the same art like that in Japan, we don't get them in English. So we probably won't get them again in English since they're not unique. There's no real reason to reprint them. They're like Arven and Team Stargrim in that respect. There's no reason to reprint them. Palmot, not a very good pull, but a pull nevertheless. It is squishy and sparkly. Therefore, it is a Palmot. He's happy. His evolution line's on this set. He can finally take a break. Doesn't have to hear all those little pommies barking at him. All right. Let's get some peace and quiet. We get Lechonk, Barboach, Wiglet, Squobit, Masquerain, Gumshoos, Pupitar, Eevee, Bronzor, and Togekiss. I'm going to ask a question for those of you who have made it this far into the video. I know we're about an hour in. I'll probably cut some stuff out by the time by the time this goes live, but kind of shrink it down a little bit. Which effect would you most like to see on an A-Spec? Maybe that's a reprint of an existing A-Spec. Maybe you really, really want to see Computer Search come back. Maybe you want to see Dowsing Machine or Life Do. Or if you're thinking of something new, what effect would you like to see printed as an A-Spec? Maybe something that's very strong that you wouldn't see otherwise get printed, but could be interesting as an A-Spec. So keep in mind, A-Specs are sort of like Radiant Pokemon in our current format, where you can only have one of any A-Spec in your deck. So if you have a copy of Computer Search, for example, you cannot include a copy of Dowsing Machine because you already have an A-Spec. So it's the same as like Radiant Greninja. If you have Radiant Greninja in your deck, you can't put a Radiant Charizard in your deck because you already have Radiant Pokemon. Same idea. So you have one Radiant Pokemon and one A-Spec in each deck. So what effects would you like to see printed as an A-Spec? Let me know in the comments. very interested to see what people come up with. Hopefully it's something more than just, oh, computer search, bring computer search back. Look, guys, I know it's good, but what else? What else? Oof. Opened interestingly. Pidgey. What? We have not hit a Blossom in this pack in this box yet, and it's kind of annoying me. I mean, we have an average of less than one Blossom per box. Actually, right now we're at one because of the reverse, but less than one regular one per box. How's that? We have to rely on the reverse to get our third Blossom. That's despicable. We have more Palafin than Blossom. Palafin is a holo rare. Ooh. Carvana. I have a Team Stargrat reprint. Taria. A little and Darkrai. Alright. Boo again. Be nice if these holos were good. Or at least okay. We see Palpitoad, Zigzagoon, Scyther, Meltan, Togetic, Volcarona, Poltegeist, Dartrix, Zigzagoon, and Ice Cube. Ice Cube has the attack Scalding Block. Does 106 damage for 3 water energy and says discard unenergy from this Pokemon during your opponent's next turn. The defending Pokemon can't attack. Hi, you don't go up there though. Get him down here. So not an awful attack actually. Could be interesting in Chen-Pao. Or some switches. Greavard. Lechonk. That would be Lambent, Sharpedo. Espeon, Floatzel, Litwick. Hey, nice. I talked about maybe wanting to get her earlier. We got her. That's cool. This is the alternate Gita. This is our champion. It's the top champion Gita. Search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards and attach them to one of your Pokemon. Then shuffle your deck. During this turn, your Pokemon can't attack. This includes Pokemon that can only play this turn. It turns out the special illustration rare version of Gita does the exact same thing as the holo rare version, which is unfortunately her lowest rarity. Sorry, Popper players. But yeah, that's very cool. Happy to pull her. That's a really nice art too. Once again, my camera is unable to do it justice. At some point in the future. We have 5 packs remaining in this booster box. This box has been a lot kinder to us than that second one. I feel like that second box was like payback for the crazy second box that I had from Paldea Evolved. Because that's that. Okay, if you haven't seen that video, I won't spoiler it, but like, whew, that second box though. That was something else. Oh, I'll probably, yeah. Just eat over. Toadstool. Dope Trio. Hey, it's the illustration rare version of the Varoom. That's cool. And I need to get some sleeves. So we have the illustration rare Varoom. It's a pretty good one. I actually think this is one of the better ones to play. It has a spinning draw attack, so draw a card. That makes it honestly worth playing over the ones with like 8 HP. Also has a 1 retreat cost, which is nice. Gloom, Bronzor, Snubble, Capsakid, Whiscash, Kangaskhan, Camerupt, Surskit, and Smoliv. And we have a Thundurus. Yay, Thundurus. I would just like to point out, we haven't pulled a single Toedscruel in this entire opening. They're almost done with 3 boxes. I should say, to be clear, Toedscruel, so the multi-prizer, not the fighting type ones. That's annoying. Just a reminder that if you want to play a deck, you gotta buy singles. Clefairy, Capsakid, Town Store, Diagonal, Houndstone, Diggersby, Solrock, Nosepass, Malamar, and Darkrai. I can't complain too much about this box. This box is definitely better than the last one. We do have 2 packs left, though, so it could still surprise me. There could even be a Blossom in one of these packs. That would be crazy. If we get back up to regular Blossom numbers. Yeah. All right, we got a Dratini, an Oddish. Oddish is nice to see. Swablu. Close. Glimmet. Excadrill. Pidgeotto. Dragonair. Charmander. Oh, nice. That's actually not a bad box at all. This is a Reverum special illustration rare. I really love this art too. It's pretty freaking cool. Reverum is not one of my favorite Pokemon. Honestly, didn't care for very much in the games, but you know what? That is cool art. I'll appreciate that. Also got a Toxtricity, for those who are counting the number of holo rares we got. Alright. Last pack magic. We have still not pulled the Fancy Charizard. We have still not pulled a single copy of Toadscroll. Again, the multi-prizer. And we have not pulled a Blossom in this box yet, which is very disappointing. But we did pull a Pidgeot. There's that. And we did pull some special illustration rares. So, alright, Lechonk, Fungus, Nosepass, Litwick, Mawile, Buffalo, Abominable, Magnemite, Tadbulb, and it's Entei. Boo. Entei, you ruin all the boxes. Alright. Let's do a quick recap and then we'll be done. Alright. Alright, so this box, there were no Blossom. Our final count for the Blossom is just 3, including the reverse holo. Boo. But with that said, I do have a River the full art, a Vespiquen, the full art. Did we pull a regular one? I don't remember. The regular Pidgeot, happy to see. Regular Miraidon, regular Palmots, there is no full art. Or from Miraidon for that matter. Ice Cube, happy to see that. The special illustration rare River special illustration rare Gita. Rhyme's trying to bust a move. Varoom, Pidgey, and Palafin. So all in all, actually a pretty good box. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 hits. That's a fairly average box, but the quality of hits in this one was actually a lot better than the other ones, so, or at least than the last box. The last box was not a lot and not great. Not kind of a combo. But that said, that is the opening for my Obsidian Flames booster boxes. I will be spending some time sorting this at some point in the future. First, I'm going to get some sleep because I have not done that. Probably edit this tomorrow and post it for Wednesday. And then look forward, if you're watching this on Wednesday or Thursday, look forward to the live stream on Friday. Hopefully it's actually a live stream this week. Been having internet issues the last couple of times I've tried streaming and haven't been able to, which is very frustrating. But thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this little opening video. I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.